Okay, guys, we're going to finish up the last installment on the Jefferson Presidency and look at the British and French violation of the neutrality of American ships as they sought to trade, and also the embargo that President Jefferson instituted that really had a lasting impact on American commerce, and really finished off his presidency kind of on a down note. One particular reason that Jefferson had to institute was this embargo was because of the Barbary pirates that Americans, after the American Revolution, encountered as they traded along the coast of Africa to Europe, and as they tried to get to Asia as well. The United States would pay a tribute or a bribe, basically money, or for protection to Tripoli and other states along the North African coast to avoid trouble. Jefferson got to a point where he refused, as they demanded more and more money, refused to do this. And so what he decided to do is send American Marines into North Africa and march into Tripoli to try and stop this. Again, kind of difficult for us because our Navy and armed forces are not as great as they would have been had he continued to fund these armed forces. Nevertheless, he sends troops in to march into Tripoli to try and stop having to pay for this bribe. Jefferson finds himself on the brink of going to war as a result of kind of our trying to work both sides of the fence. Britain and France, again, constantly going to war with one another, and so they're at war again in the around 1803, and we're making tons of money supplying both sides, and so we're trying to remain neutral. Remember, President Washington wanted to remain neutral, but as the political parties began to form, we kind of fell. A lot of Americans fell on both sides, and so that's just still taking place at this time. Neither the British or the French, they wanted the United States to supply the other, and so that's kind of left us in a jam. And so what the French began to do is to seize American ships that were bound for Britain with supplies. And likewise, the British began to seize ships that were headed toward the French. And they not only seized the ships, but they would impress or force the sailors on American vessels to serve in the British Navy. And so you can imagine a lot of American businessmen and merchants are not happy that this is taking place. So Jefferson tries to institute an embargo to deal with this issue and ban all trade from the Americas to all nations. And as you can imagine, this does not sit well. It hurts the U.S. trade, and basically what happened, you had merchants smuggling goods in and out of the country as a result of it. And so what Jefferson comes up is with what we call a Non-Intercourse Act, and it allowed Americans to carry on trade with all nations except for Great Britain and France. Again, this embargo, very unpopular, and really left a lasting legacy on Jefferson's presidency. And so as James Madison is ushered into the presidency, he's left to deal with this particular issue and the British and their impressment in the French. And so as we move into the last sections 4 and 5, we're going to look at the Madison's presidency. Let's go ahead and pause right here. Fill out your summary of your notes. Make sure you post into Moodle, and again we'll discuss this and prepare to review and quiz over the first three sections.